It is, and I really consider that my job here. I'd like to invite you to do an article for the first issue of my new Free American online magazine. I've been publishing it for 20 years, up in hard copy, and I had to
Well,
go.
thank you. I appreciate that offer.
Yeah, I'd like to feature this book. The way you've got this book structured. Let's talk about that a little bit. I mean,
Yes.
you've got places in here that people can fill in, and to contacting the White House. Here's a date and time. Who you called, the representatives that you've put together. Uh, Tell me about the way this handbook is organized, there,
Well,
and why people
you
should
hit it
get
right.
this.
You hit the nail right on the head. It's designed to be a handbook. In other words, a resource for people to use, not just to read, but to actually use. So, for example, I have a whole section that you could almost call like a day planner type section, where you can keep track of important telephone numbers, important names, uh, your representatives, when you contacted them, why you contacted them, what the outcome of that was, when you contacted the media. So it's a place to write down important information and to do follow-up on that information. I also included kind of inspirational information. For example, I have a section about, is America a republic or is it a democracy? Because there's a lot of people that just don't understand that. I have a section kind of about in the middle of the book where I cite a lot of current events, things that most people are just not aware of, that would probably boil their blood a little bit, especially dealing with fiscal issues, dealing with corruption within the government. So that's kind of, I'm hoping it will inspire people. Over and over again, I'm trying to promote a call to action within my book to try to get people to get involved, to take up those three steps I mentioned earlier, and to get involved and make their voices heard, both at the local level as well as in Washington.
Now,
And then,
the tea parties are I think it's a good thing because people are getting together. People are starting to realize that there's more of them. If you've got a tea party, you've got people going to the same place and hearing the same thing, something being echoed by intelligent people. But you still got a danger. Let me just mention Sarah Palin.
yes,
Now, I don't think we had a lot of choice between Senator McCain and Barack Obama. But Sarah Palin made a hit, made a splash, and but I've heard her going and calling for war with Iran. That's following her stepping into the whole globalist one world agenda with us as replacing England and Rome. I mean, isn't the same thing happening over and over and over again? And how do you deal with somebody like her in the Tea Party movement? Because what they're doing is putting their agents or the people that they bought and paid for, like like the Rockefellers, like the Kissingers, to direct us into this one world communist style government.
well, a person like Sarah Palin, I admire her in that she's inspirational and she gets people interested in the issues, interested in candidates, which is a good thing. One thing that people don't really understand about the Tea Party is it's really an organization made up of 2,800 different chapters. There's about 18 million Tea Party members, which is about 1/2 of 1% of the population of the country. And it's a very, very loose association between these people, the various chapters in the Tea Party. And so, uh, as of right now, we really don't have a leadership at a national level. We don't have somebody or a group of people that is calling the shots, setting policy, setting requirements, or anything like that within the Tea Party. Just a real, it's a loose confederation of individuals, which, in some regards it could be seen as a negative because we're not that organized, but in other regards it's a real positive because we're not being directed by one person's ideology. Instead, we're really, it's a true democracy, if you will, in that every person almost has their own vote and wants to promote their own vision the direction that we want to see the organization go. I was listening to Sean Hannity yesterday on the radio, and he was interviewing P.J. O'Rourke, who's a very famous, columnist. And P.J. O'Rourke said something that I found pretty fascinating. He said that the Tea Party is the first time in history where a group of people have banded together because they wanted less from government instead of more from government. And that's a really great analogy as a movement. That you think about, when labor organizations march, what do they want? They want laws that promote their labor organizations. They want more money for themselves. They want more opportunities for themselves. They want to grow. The Tea Party, when they get together, they're getting together to basically say, we need to reverse course. We need to make our government smaller. We need to have less handouts, less entitlements, and definitely less borrowing and spending.
And more production. I mean, we've got the issues of hemp, for instance. I mean, now that's on the ballot in California to legalize it. But that was our number one cash crop. It was stolen from this country. I mean, they continually, and they've taken our industry, transferred that in multinational deals to China. I mean, if you try to protect the United States today, if you try to say, wait a minute, this free trade, this ain't going to get it. The way the government makes money, you're supposed to make money, is off of tariffs. Free trade eliminates the tariffs, so that puts the burden back on the taxpayer. That means, our whole system of government is under attack here.
I truly believe in the free market, and I believe in capitalism, and I truly believe, and it can be seen in China. China is still a repressive country. Goodness, if you want to get out and stand on a soapbox in the park and talk about your religious affiliation, you'll probably end up in a gulag somewhere. You'll end up in jail. So China certainly has a long way to go as far as becoming a democracy or a republic. And yet, what you see happening in China is by coming in with industry, coming in and giving people opportunities, their way of life has certainly improved. Their individuals can purchase a car, purchase a phone, eat good food, have clean water. I truly believe that capitalism, as is practiced, with good industry, not trying to rape and pillage and take advantage of individuals, that when you start developing job opportunities and growth, it helps poor people especially rise up from being poor and start entering into a middle class, maybe even giving them opportunities to exceed far beyond what their ancestors had exceeded in creating industry and in creating jobs. I think that's the American dream, is that we get an idea, we pursue it, we might fail. I certainly don't believe in government then coming in and bailing us out every time we fail. I think that's a total mismanagement of the public money and the public trust. You think about Thomas Jefferson